everyone. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Present podcast. This is Daniel Mulligan. It's been a while, guys, I know, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys are all in shape now and just wanted to get back to give you guys some jolt of motivation and a quick reminder about your commitment to your goals. Guys, it's so easy to have a lot of motivation for, a specific task, goal, or idea, but unfortunately, a lot of times we lose our level of commitment, especially when the goal is a long-term goal that takes a long time to accomplish. So today, I'm here to remind you about the importance of remaining committed to your goals and being a fanatic. I use the word fanatic very intentionally, being a fanatic about the accomplishment of your goals. Guys, am I asking you guys to be unreasonable? Yes, I am. Am I asking you guys to literally see your goals as a do or die kind of thing, even if it's not that important? Yes, I am. Why? Because I do believe that the way you do anything is the way you do everything. You're saying, well, Dan, I appreciate your level of dedication, but I don't want to treat every single one of my goals as a do or die. Not all of them are necessarily that important. Well, I'm telling you right now, if your brain learns that it is okay to quit, that it is okay to make less effort for one goal because it is, quote unquote, less important, then guess what it's going to do? Your brain is designed to avoid pain and to save as much energy as possible for survival. We've needed that in the past, perhaps thousands of years to survive on the Sahara Desert. So the brain loves two things. It wants things to get as easy as possible, and it does so because it wants to save energy. So when your brain learns, okay, listen, I just received a list of 5 goals from this girl or from that guy, and now I'm their brains, so I have to somehow decide what to do next. So here's what they said. They said, we have these 5 goals, but these 3 or 4 aren't as important, so I'm not going to do them as much. I'm not going to commit so much. So guess what? I just found a trick next time this guy has a goal. So anytime he or she has a goal, I will then make him think, this, by the way, all happens at a subconscious level, I'm going to make him or her think that, all right, are you sure that this goal is that important? So you see, your brain essentially learns to trick you to quit on your goals because you have given yourself the easy way option available. So that's like right now you have this availability of calling any goal, well, not worth it or not that important. So the brain says anytime this guy or this girl sets a new goal, well, I could, simply go all in and try to pursue them, but that's going to be hard. And there's a lot of frustrations and there's a lot of difficulty, maybe a lot of failures and setbacks and rejections along the way. So you know what? That's too painful. I'm the human brain and I want to minimize pain. So I have a great idea. Anytime this person sets a new goal, I make him rethink that goal by asking, well, is it really worth it? I mean, it's not that important. Why do you want to go all in? So this person then will say, well, it's not that important. So he or she's going to quit it, and I'm not going to have to deal with all the pain of achieving that goal. You see, that's the brain's function, to increase the amount of pleasure in your life and to decrease the amount of pain. So when you give yourself that exit for any goal, that's the problem. The brain sees that as a loophole. Now, if you work in business or in law, you understand that loopholes are very much in demand for both business professionals and legal professionals, because loopholes are oftentimes the thing that people use to excuse themselves of the crimes they committed or the problems they've caused for other people. And that actually works, both on a corporate level and on a personal level. So the brain says, okay, I see. So you set 5 goals, and one of those goals were thought to be not as important. That's the loophole. Why don't I think of ways to make the other 4 goals also look not as important? And that's the problem. So your brain learns, okay, why not try to persuade this person anytime he or she sets a goal that maybe this goal isn't worth that much. That way, I will spare myself of the pain and the difficulty to achieve that goal. That is exactly why we say the way you do anything is the way you do everything, because the brain then learns the pattern and repeats it. So if you're someone who says, if I set a goal, I must achieve it, even if I change my mind, or if I'm committed to something, I will stay committed, even if that's the wrong thing to be committed to, the brain learns, I can't loophole this guy. I can't tell this guy, all right, this goal is not worth it, so we might as well give up, which means I have no way, which means we might as well get it done. And guess what? You will get it done. That is what happens to most of us in life. We have a lot of desires, and we occasionally get so, riled up that we actually set them as goals. But halfway along the way, sometimes only, after a few steps, we realize, it's actually very hard. I mean, it's not that easy to do this or do that. And guess what? Most big goals are actually like that. They seem a lot easier than they really are. Once you start doing it, you realize, oh my goodness, this is like 10 times as tough as I thought. And that's just the nature of most ambitious goals. So when you set those big goals for yourself, what ends up happening is you start doing it, and the brain says, oh, that's so painful. I got to make so much extra effort to get this thing done. It's so hard. What should I do? And guess what you will do? That's right. You start removing that level of commitment by saying that maybe this is not worth my commitment after all. It's just, after all, it's too much work, but the results and the rewards aren't worth it. But the problem is this. Even if you're right with that specific goal, let's say you truly did set a goal that was not that important. Let's say the goal was not that relevant or didn't have such a huge impact on your life. Let's assume that's true. The problem is this. When the brain says, okay, so I actually, was given a goal by this guy, then I told him that this is not a big deal, and then he actually gave up on it. So why don't I repeat this with every single other goal that he or she sets? And guess what? Now you've established a pattern. We call this paralysis by analysis and talking yourself into quitting a goal. That is why today I want to propose what I call a fanatical level of commitment to any and all goals you set for yourself. And the rule is simple. Either you do not ever set a goal for yourself, or if you set that goal, you must see it all the way to the end, even if a few days, weeks, or months after you set that goal, you realize the goal wasn't really worth it after all. And the reason is very simple. When you don't give yourself the permission to quit on your goals, even if you realize this was not the right goal after all, you will still see the goal all the way to the end so that the brain learns, all right, this person is never going to quit. When he commits fanatically and unreasonably, which means I better not waste any more energy trying to justify quitting. Let's just, use all of our energy to achieve this goal and get it done, get it out of the way. And that's exactly the habit that you need to achieve big goals in life. You want your brain to say, okay, I'm not going to waste energy on trying to justify why we should not pursue the goal anymore. I'm just going to save energy by simply removing excuses and just get this damn thing done. And that is going to be now a new habit that you've established for yourself. Hence, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. For example, to simplify this matter, let's say that you have set for yourself a couple of goals, some in your health area, some in terms of your wealth, some in terms of your career, relationships. So you have this set of goals in every area of your life. Then you say, you know what? I'm not going to pursue my health goals with the same level of dedication as I do my personal goal because, that's for survival. I need my money. I need money to put food on the table. But the fact of the matter is, in that situation, your brain will then learn, so he knows he's going to, some of the goals aren't as important. You're going to get that. So whatever goal you set for yourself, you treat that goal as if it's a do or die. So if you have on your list a set of following goals, for example, reach the sales quota of the company by the end of the month, a very important goal, right? Then be able to, increase my bench press by about, for example, 30 pounds this month. Being able to perhaps, find the best, travel deal to see that city, state, or country. And being able to perhaps, spend more time with my family and loved ones and increase the amount of time by at least 2 hours per week. So these are the 4 goals. They might have different levels of priorities for you, but you treat every single one of these goals as equally important, which means the supposedly more important goal of reaching your sales quota to be given the bonus and, have more money to spend and put food on the table will be as important as the goal of finding the perfect travel deal. But the fact of the matter is, in reality, they're not as important. I mean, when it comes to, your life, it's obviously clear that your career and your income is a lot more important than a travel deal. But the brain says it doesn't matter what goal this person sets. He commits all the way fanatically to every single one of those goals. And this then becomes a habit, so the brain stops wasting energy and resources on trying to justify whether this goal is worth it or not. And instead, it simply learns through practice and repetition that if there is a goal, it must be achieved. And that's exactly the main difference between high achievers and the rest of us. Those high achieving individuals, they actually set these goals and they treat every single goal as equally important. The goal of, making $1 million this year will be as important for them as finding the perfect seat, in their favorite football match, for example. I mean, these are like, you can imagine, these are like very different set of goals, right? One is extremely important. One is extremely unimportant, but your brain says, you know what? For this guy, there's no difference between finding the perfect seat in a, match versus, making another $1 million this year for, an active income. So that person now, he or she has established this habit, this mindset to pursue every single goal nonstop without excuses. And that becomes a destiny for that person. And that's exactly what I want from you today. So guys, from now on, tell yourself, I either do not set a goal, or if I set a goal, I'm in 110%. And I do not treat that goal as any less important as any other goal. And I will do my very best to finish and to see it all the way to the end. Only this mindset will then allow you to achieve big things in life. Because if you look around you, most people are almost never committed to any particular goal. And that is a serious problem. So today, I hope that this short talk, gave you that motivation to stop, and I mean stop, telling yourself the stories of like, well, I don't know, is this really worth it? Because if you quit on this little important, let's say, not so as important and as relevant goal of yours as the other ones, then the brain says, well, why don't I make the other goals also not so relevant? Because your brain is always trying to find the easiest way to get something done and to save as much energy as possible. So instead of training your brain to save energy by quitting or justifying a goal as not worth pursuing, teach your brain to save energy by not even bothering trying to find an excuse or to tell you that this goal is not that important. Then the brain says, like, you know what? I can save energy right now because I know no matter what I do, no matter what I tell this guy or gal about how unimportant this goal is, he or she is not going to listen. So why waste my energy to tell this guy this goal is not worth it after all? I'm just going to save energy by getting the damn thing done and not bothering coming up with any excuses. And believe me, this becomes a mental habit. And it's the mental habit of all top achievers and winners all around the world in every single field. They simply don't waste time trying to say, is this goal worth it? They understand it's better to be fanatically committed to the wrong goal than to be half committed to the right goal. Let me repeat that. It is better to be fanatically, unreasonably committed to the wrong goal and then finish it and then realize, oh, that was actually the wrong goal, than it is not to be committed or half committed to the right goal. Because the fact of the matter is, the second one, first of all, if you're half committed, you probably won't ever achieve the goal. But even if you do, the brain has not learned the discipline to actually focus on the attainment of those goals. So this level of focus, this level of dedication and commitment is very important. And I really hope that this talk today gave you that motivation to start thinking this way. Burn all the bridges, train your brain to simply stop looking for excuses and instead focus on getting the damn job done, even if it might not be as important or as relevant. Just teach yourself that if I set a goal, I will be a finisher and I will see it all the way to the end. And then see how this is going to transform the rest of your life. All right, guys, that's all the time we had for. I really enjoyed being here with you guys. And hopefully you will use this mental tool in order to achieve more of your goals. Until next time we meet, have a great one and take care.